Okay. I know it's been a few days, but I think Thursday, today's Sunday, I think it was the last time I got on. Shit's been happening. So I told you I got a hit from a distant cousin. I think that was the last one I told you. Then I started getting more. Actually, that day, shortly after I filmed, I got several more messages back from some third cousins that I had reached out to, or potential third cousins that I had reached out to through Ancestry. You have to pardon me. I've had a emotionally wrecking evening before I went to bed, and it just became more of a roller coaster this morning. So I've already been going through emotional outbursts. So I had to do that to get it together before I could come on. Otherwise, I would never be able to start this episode. So what happened was, I heard from a third cousin. First, I had to write notes again because there's just so much happening. So you see me looking down. That's all I'm doing. A third cousin reached out to me. Didn't know anything about any family adoptions or secrets or anything like that. All right. It was nice that she answered me back. Or he. I'm not sure which one that was. I didn't write notes of the names because I'm not planning on saying the names. So, I could sit here and tell you, about how, my cousin Eileen Ann helped me through a lot of all this. Because I've known Eileen Ann for 50 freaking years. And I'm not using her name in anything bad in any sort of negative way. So I feel like I have earned the right to be able to drop her name in the video. But the individuals that have been contacting me, family members, third cousins, distant relatives, and others, I don't know them. I don't have the right to drop their names. So I'm not going to be referring to anybody names, with one exception, only because they use the initials. I don't even know what sex they are, but since I'm so close to my cousin Eileen Ann, I'm just going to refer to all of these responses as from her, okay, using a female pronoun, because I'm comfortable with that. So another cousin contacted me. Now, she was also adopted. Now, this is a third cousin. She contacted me. She's also adopted. And she's like me on Ancestry, trying to get answers, trying to find connections. And she gave me some names, some family names that she's tracked down. Now, another third cousin, these are all third cousins, she contacted me, and she was also adopted. That makes 3 of us so far alone. I don't know, it just seems like a lot in the family. Anyway, she told me that she has found her family. She reunited with them. She was also born in 1969 like me, but she wasn't born in New York. She wasn't born in state at all. She found out that she has 6 brothers, 3 older, 3 younger. Talk about a middle child. And she gave me a new name to work on as well, but I've got no leads from that yet. Another third cousin, she got in touch with me. Yeah, also adopted. That's another one. And she gave me more names. Now, one name rang through between them. And as of last night, I was planning on waking up this morning and doing another episode of Sibling Zero, because I've gotten these responses, and there's a lot of things going through my head. Now, I didn't cover up behind me I usually do because this is my hobby, by the way. Board gaming, tabletop gaming. This is my hobby big time. That's what my other channel is dedicated to. This is my recording room for that channel that I'm in. But I did not, I can't even waste time this morning covering this up. Because this has nothing to do with what I'm doing here. But there's no way I was going to take time. I didn't even set up my second light. I wouldn't even have set up this one, but it was just so crappy in here. I just couldn't deal with that at all. Because yesterday, last night, my friends were over. We were doing some gaming. We were doing some filming for my other channel. We were hanging out, having a good time. And during the course of game day, I noticed that I had a response from another message that I sent out through Ancestry DNA. And yeah, that's one note I didn't freaking write. I forgot what it is. Hello, new family member or something I saw it said. And I knew I couldn't look at it. I said to myself that, I said, John, if you look at this now, that's it. Might as well just send your friends home and ruin their day. And I wasn't going to do that to my friends. So I sat on it. And I just put it in a tiny little treasure chest in the back of my head somewhere, and with a timer on it for later. With a timer on it, not to forget about it, with a timer on it. And I am really glad I did, because after my friends left last night, and I walked my dogs, while I was walking my dogs, actually, I stopped and I looked at it, and I said, fuck. So I screenshotted it to my wife, Kristen. And so when I got back in, we were both really excited. One of the reasons we were excited, this is a second cousin, not a third cousin. I mean, I tertiarily met my third cousins, as far as I know, a couple of times in my life. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about them. I don't know, maybe Eileen Ann or someone to refresh a memory of mine, and I'll be like, oh shit, yeah, I do know that. But off the top of my head, I can't tell you much other than I know of their existence, and I only remember a couple of them. But second cousins, we share a great-grandparent. My grandmother was a great aunt, or if you're in Europe, a grand aunt, I think they call it over there. My nanny was the great aunt to my father's cousins. They don't share her as a grandparent for me, but we do share the same great-grandparents. And in my family growing up, maybe it's just because a tight-knit Irish family, in an Irish neighborhood that was evolving from an Irish ghetto. So everything was really tight. But I knew my second cousins. I was the baby of the family, so I didn't have a lot of interaction with them. And by the time I was growing up, they'd already moved out of the neighborhood. They kept the family apartment, though, and there was always one of my second cousins living there. I knew them. And this message is from a second cousin in Florida. Okay. So things are interesting. Okay, so apparently my second cousin in Florida, and she said several others in the family, have been trying to solve certain family secrets and mysteries. And apparently there are a lot of family secrets. She gave me some names, and one of them rang through with the others, with one other from my other third cousins that have been on the same quest. So last night, she gave me her email address, she gave me her phone number. And so last night, I sent her a really long email. Started off the email letting her know who I am and the family I grew up in, and how I found out that I was adopted. And then I told her everything that I knew, allegedly think is true. And that was already like 10:30. So I woke up this morning and my cousin answered me. We talked about a few things. I've gone back and forth already. And my eyes look like I've been through a boxing match. The first thing that I saw were 3 one-word sentences. Oh my God. She said, "You are the missing link in one of the family mysteries." Now, to me, the first thing that says to me, what I took from that, is that though they may not have known me specifically, they were looking for me, because they were looking for pieces that didn't fit or were missing. And I was one of them. They were actively, someone was looking for me this whole time. There's someone else on the end of the rope that I'm following through this dark tunnel. It's not just lying there on the floor at the end. I just wrote down some of the things she said because the way they meant or they mean to me. And she said, trying to pick my chin up off the floor, almost dropped my coffee. Now, the first, she said this, but then just before I got on, I saw her, to do this, I saw an email. So I'll say this and then I'll give you the little asterisk for it. She said that she believes that her grandmother is how we are related, and thinks that her grandmother was my aunt. Kristen was right, I should have put some tissues in. But she updated that just before I came on here, and she said, I am a cousin on her dad's side. Now, her mom had her DNA tested and done, and it's linked to my cousins. So Ancestry tells her if she gets a hit from her mom's side. So that's how she knows that I'm from her dad's side. She told me that from what her and the other relatives have been investigating, that apparently, and this is her words, the family has more secrets than alligators in the Everglades. I can read better than this. The family has more secrets than alligators in the Everglades. I'm in shock. She said, we are related. Big time. They didn't know me, but they knew of my piece of the puzzle that wasn't there. They could see it wasn't there. They didn't know it was me, but they knew there was something there that was missing, and they were looking. The family secrets. Giving a kid up for an adoption. in that time period here in America in 1969, that probably didn't go over well. Especially if I'm a half. If I'm, for whatever reason, second marriage, infidelity, rape, who knows? Family secret. Because of whatever the hubris is. Finding people that wanted me and giving me to them was the answer it seems the family needed at the time. But since my cousin, my second cousin, and whoever else she's mentioning in the family, so some other relatives, discovered that there was oddities, and it piqued their natural human curiosity. They wouldn't let this stay buried. And I can't thank them enough for being at the other end of that tunnel that I'm working my way through. As I've said in other videos, I felt so alone my entire life, even being surrounded by loving people and loving friends. And now to know that there's someone at the end that's been waving a light, keeping a candle lit in hope. This is what I've been doing all morning. I don't have the words for this emotion. I really don't. It's good. It's a good emotion. But I don't know what the emotion is. And I was pretty sure I've run through every emotion countless times in my life thus far. I've never been one to willingly hide them. This is a good emotion, but I don't know what it is. This is so weird. This is so strange. It's so wanted. It's so needed. There are so many words that fit this. So we're emailing back and forth. We are going to we're going to talk on the phone. I told her literally, anytime today at all. I'm not at work, I'm home. It's going to happen. But going back to what I was saying about putting in perspective, like with my family, how well I know my second cousins. It just really makes me think that there's not going to be much digging left to do to find my siblings. And that's the end of this journey. But it's the beginning of a whole new journey. A whole different story. A new chapter. No, not a chapter. A sequel. Because then it's getting to know any of them that are willing to want to try to make a connection. But I don't think it's ever going to not be a little difficult emotionally. It's always going to be an overabundance of emotion one way or the other. After 50 years, how could there not be? I don't think it's ever going to be normal. Normal feeling, I mean, it's still going to be a little off-center, but that's okay because that's how I've lived my life, is off-center. But I totally look forward to anyone that is willing to give a chance and see how we connect. see how we connect. But I definitely gotta. I shoot everything through my phone, so I can't do anything like, oh, this just came in. So I'm gonna get off right now and see if anything else came in. So this is great. This is awesome. This is fantastic. This is happening so fast. I have a feeling there's going to be a need for another update today. I hope there's time between everything that's going to be happening with me and my cousin. Yeah. All right, let's see what happens.